Should students go to school all year round? Obviously, that is something for other people to go ahead and debate about because we kids and teenagers and sometimes parents themselves have no say in this. Yes, sure, parents have some say in this because, well, their kids are going to these schools and they're trusting their own money in their taxes or for private tuition so that this school can go ahead and keep them safe and make sure that new knowledge goes inside their heads. But in the end, of course, it is the school board that goes ahead and, well, decides all of this. Here we have some places where there are schools all year round. Sometimes those schools go ahead and have really short breaks. Yes, they still have breaks, obviously. If you just go to school 365 days a year, you'll probably experience burnout. So many tests and so much yada yada yada. Everyone needs a break sometime. In the end, so there are some places where we go ahead and think about. And so we start off with the first point from the pros team. Now these guys say that students have less time to, well, forget all the things that they learned last year and have more time to go ahead and remember the things that they have learned this year. The first point of the cons team is that students still forget over all those short breaks, which means teachers need to review more often. And if teachers need to review more often, well then they're wasting their time. They can just go ahead and keep going ahead with new subjects. If you look at the overall time, well, all year round schools, which still have like short breaks in between, literally have to review more often. While the ones that have like long breaks, they're like one major review and then everything else is new. These will be remembered forever. And then we just go ahead and repeat them over here. Gradual acceleration, eh? And now for the second point of the pros team is that teachers don't have to spend as much time reviewing on those tests. And they can just go ahead and spend time to go ahead and on those new lessons. You go ahead and have the time on those new lessons, such as environments, recess, tests, and everything else too. So at schools, we don't really have to do that so often. But in the end, it is not our problems that we go ahead and think about. Students should go ahead and have new lessons as well too. And now for the second point of the cons team is that there's no solid proof that year-round schools really do give better grades. It feels like they're about average. The schools that still don't care about school don't really have big improvements. The ones that really care about school, well, yeah, they now have more to review, but they have more to learn, but yeah, they just do performing well. They just do it a little bit faster. You can't get higher than A+. And now for the third point of the pros team is that having more breaks helps your students and teachers with their burnouts. If you have more breaks, well then you have less likelihood of burning out. It's like running your car 24/7 without ever stopping. Except on the weekends, but that's still going to burn it out way faster than giving it a long break. Now for the third cons is that it can be really hard for parents when their children have different breaks from, well, their break from school. If they have different breaks from schools, well then it's really hard on them too. They really cannot do anything else. It's hard on them because they're on different levels of used to things. And now for the fourth point is that, okay, this one is kind of contradictory. Students can get bored during a long summer vacation, apparently. Students can get bored. The logic behind this being that, well, during the vacation, if it's too long, they have done everything they want to do. And so we'll go ahead and think that, hey, this is too boring. There's not much else that I can do. You can just keep playing the same video game over and over again, which might last for a while, but then you feel like, I don't have another video game. You might just watch a television program and then you realize you watched and binged the entire series. And you're like, let's binge another series. And then you binge like 5 series and then you want to rewatch it. Honestly, that's what I did. Or maybe sometimes if you are Asian like me, well then your parents will probably go ahead and force you into study places. So you go ahead and you have to study, as well as entertain yourself, of course. But compared to what other kids do, there's not that much of a difference. The ratio is like 1 to 10 for rest time, in my opinion. 1 being rest time, 10 being study time. And now for the fourth point of the cons team is that students can't take long family vacations. And if they can't take long family vacations, well, you can go to summer school or you can just go ahead and go to jobs. You can't do any of that if you don't have long summer vacations. What would you put inside that transcript about your jobs? And now for the fifth point is that multi-track systems in schools can help make sure that all those buildings are used all year round and not being sent into disrepair, forcing people to go ahead and fix it all in a month. This is what we should do. We should let some students use the building some parts of the year, and while those students are on break, the other students go in, and then repeat and repeat, alternate, vice versa. In the end, though, that will just make sure that the buildings are used all year round. And now for the fifth and final point of the cons team is that, well, there we go. It can cost more for schools to go ahead and stay open. I mean, why do you think they save money on those vacations? More vacations equals more saving on money. But of course, their job is to go ahead and make sure that their school is working. So, well, obviously they have to go ahead and do something about it. In the end, though, there's not much else that we can really do about this. Students should go to school all year round. That is your opinion. I mean, even in all year round schools, they don't go 365 days a year. They don't go to like 365 days a year, weekends off. No. They still get weekends off and some breaks. Just not as long as what other people do in non all year round schools. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope to see you guys soon. Until next time, Johanna, peace. Bye bye.